Hey everybody, how's it going? What's up? Anyway, sorry for the late start. I was gathering all these supplies and everything. I've got so much going on for this squid, so I just needed a little bit of extra time. But I think we're ready to make some serious progress tonight, or at least I'm hoping so. You can see the photo of what the squid shoes look like and what I'm going to be trying to make tonight. And this is what I'm starting with, which is a base shoe that has a really similar shape. It's got this hidden wedge heel, which I always like to do if I can, because your legs look a lot better if you're wearing heels. And also, I just thought the added height would reflect the proportions of like the cartoon shoe a little bit better. So they're not completely identical, but they're pretty close in terms of shape and everything. And I'm going to be making some alterations to it tonight to see exactly how close I can get it. But I feel pretty good about it. Let me make sure that I have everything to get started. I have a couple of other things that I've gathered. This is some paint that is designed to be used on flexible surfaces like vinyl or leather. It's Angelus and the color is South Beach, which looks pretty perfect compared to this, at least on my settings. So, you know, pretty happy with that find. And I'm gonna have to do some other changes, such as adding black to the bottom here, doing the shoelaces as well, which are going to have to be dyed. I guess that's the first thing I can do, is take out these shoelaces, because I'm going to have to put them in a dye pot. I won't do that on stream, most likely, because I don't have a good setup for that. It's like in the kitchen. But, you know, we'll see how that goes. Check my Instagram or whatever for that. Let's see. I think my internet is struggling, so my apologies if that is giving other people problems. Anyway, it's been a busy time here in my household. I've been working on that squid head sculpt, and I'm almost done with it. Hopefully tomorrow we'll begin the molding process and have more to share on that. But that is coming along quite well. It's been kind of a long time getting through it all, just because I am not as skilled, I guess, as a sculptor, but I think it still looks pretty great. So we're happy with where it's going to be. The things that I wanted to do to these shoes is, first of all, there's this like raised texturized area on this shoe reference that I'm using, which is right on the toe. And I'm going to be doing that out of foam. It's a little bit hard to see in the exact reference image that is visible for you guys, but if you look it up, just search Squid Kid or Inkling Girl from Splatoon 2, and this is like the main one. It's also a slightly lighter color. The toe of that shoe is like a super light kind of tint of the other shade that's right next to it. Carbonic Acid, thank you for the follow. Sorry, also shout out to VHS Meme and El Poncho Grand for all following very, very soon right before the stream started. Sorry, I'm like tongue-tied right now. But anyway, the toe area of these shoes is a lighter color. So I have some white paint that I can mix in with this and then get that lighter shade. And I did my samples earlier to make sure that this color is going to be accurate, and I'm pretty happy with that. So, good stuff. These shoes, Abby is asking where the shoes came from. They are from Amazon. I just did some searching. I couldn't tell you exactly who the manufacturer is, but they were not hard to find. I didn't have to search very far. So this is, where I'm going to start is putting these like little weird designs on the front of the shoe. I have some white foam here. This is what it's going to be made out of eventually, but in order to make sure that it's a good fit and that it like suits the rest of the shapes here, I am going to make a pattern by putting some tape down on it. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that as we go. Shout out to Anna, who is putting together a cosplay contest in 2 days. I'm assuming that's for KitsuneCon, because it seems like it's KitsuneCon time of year. So good luck with that. We were there last year. It was a lot of fun. Alright, so I'm just cutting up some of this tape beforehand. We don't have to do a lot. Normally I like put saran wrap down over the shoe or something along those lines to prevent it from just being like stuck directly onto the material, but it's gonna be fine for something this small. I'd rather not like wrap the whole shoe in saran wrap. That just seems a little bit unnecessary. So I'll just be really careful when I'm peeling things up to make sure that the pieces of tape don't separate and then ruin our shape that we're trying to get. I'm just cutting this into smaller pieces so that I can like let it lay smoothly over the curves. And so these will be overlapping quite a bit, but just the idea is to not let it be like wrinkled or bunched up anywhere, so that you have a smooth representation of what that surface curve is, or at least approximation. Pretty close. People are working on cosplay. Here in the chat, everybody's talking about what their projects are. It looks like KitsuneCon is right around the corner. That was a con we went to last year that's in Green Bay, Wisconsin. That was a lot of fun, and Anna A. Petty in the chat is one of the organizers there for cosplay events and stuff. Looks like Jackie's working on a Vanellope cosplay. That's pretty fun. There's a lot of little parts to that for the hair and all of that. They're like little charms. I'm interested to see what you're gonna do that out of. So Arsenis Cast is asking what Squid Girl I'm cosplaying. I am cosplaying the amiibo version, not one of the new squids that was revealed. Marina or Pearl. Well, I guess Marina is an Octoling. But anyway, I'm not cosplaying either one of them. I'm cosplaying the amiibo version. It's the pink-haired girl squid that I'm going to be doing. And this is for San Diego Comic-Con, which is right around the corner. And so I'm really excited about going there and doing San Diego Comic-Con things. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you, Dankizard, saying that this is going to be great. Nice name, by the way. That's a really good name. Ferocious Intention is working on Alita from Code Lyoko. That's pretty cool. I'm not familiar with that character design, but I know of the series. Alright, so I have one shoe here that's like mostly covered. I only need to do one and then it'll just be duplicated. We'll just do two. And they're a mirror image of each other, so the same pieces can just be flipped to make sure that they are fitting onto both shoes. Alright, I have a little bit of extra tape over there that I don't need, but that's fine. Okay, so now I have my image pulled up. I need to make sure I have a pencil. I didn't get that, or I think I just walked off with it. But we've got most of our stuff together. I swear that I planned for these things. In case you can't tell. Good luck with your sculpting, Jackie, who is doing Crayola Model Magic. for the Vanellope stuff. Miss Dino Munster is crocheting nesting bowls. That sounds amazing. You should not be saying that that is not interesting. That sounds incredible. I wish I knew how to do that, but I don't know anything about crocheting. Aside from it looks awesome, and then I can't do it. Oh, awesome. Dankazard has got Fire Emblem stuff. Good luck with that. Thanks for the follow, Dankazard. Also, good name. Yes, they are heeled sneakers. I got the heeled versions of the sneakers because I thought that they were closer to the general shape and silhouette of the cartoon version of the shoes. So, like, as far as translating this design into real life, I think that the added heel kind of gives it more of the correct shape. So that's what I'm doing. Plus, I like them. Hi, Scarlet Letter. Alright, so moving right along, pulling my shoe reference back up here. I'm still going to keep an eye on the chat, so feel free to ask questions about what we're doing or other things. I'm just like repositioning my guy over here. Alright. It looks like part of this is going to be interrupted by the design of the shoe that we're starting with. And I just got another notification that was Fuyushimo, thank you for following. So this is going to be, you know, a certain amount of compromising to make these pieces look correct on the shoe because it's not exactly identical with the one that we were basing it off of. So I'm just going to kind of make some guidelines for myself. I'm just sketching a little bit of where I think that visually these pieces should hit to replicate the style of the original. It won't be 100% accurate, but it will be, it'll give it the same like visual impression. And getting the right proportions is a really big part of doing that convincingly. So. Alright, so I've got this line marked out that is just kind of like a guideline for where I think these pieces should terminate, more or less. And basically, just going to draw it on. And we'll clean this up a little bit once we take it off the shoe. And that way, the lines will be perfectly straight and all of that. But for now, I'm just kind of sketching it on lightly, and this eraser is garbage. Why don't I have it? It's like all of my erasers. Hopefully this one is still good. Yeah, that one's still good. Okay, and marking out kind of below there. That might actually need to be wider now that I'm really looking at it. Yeah, definitely. So I'm kind of exaggerating the size a little bit, at least for this side one, because it needs to connect to the edge over here as well. I want to do that in a way that looks good. Okay, so this middle one does need to be quite a bit wider in order to kind of have accurate looking spacing with the rest of the pieces. So with that in mind, I'm going to move this over. It's just going to have to be a little bit wider than what the, I guess, ideal one is in order to compensate for like the difference in the amount of space that I'm working with. Canderson, what do I have over here? Canderson 1989, thanks for following. Alright, so doing this one more time. My eraser line is still pretty, my erased line is still pretty visible, so it kind of helps visualize it too. Now, this looks like it's actually straight across the top, more or less. I did a curved line that would help me to visually connect them, like connect the tops of these pieces. But what I do need for the shape of the piece is the straight line, or the flat line. So, I'll erase all of the extra information. Alright, now I'm grabbing my ruler so that I can compare these two. It looks like it's about 3/8 of an inch. Which is good on the other side too. I'm going to move it over just a hair. That way I'm considering what the larger picture looks like with all of the pieces before I like commit to any of them exactly. And how are we going to do this? I guess this one, I'm marking out how wide these pieces will all be. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. Hopefully you guys can see this. I've been just looking at my reference image, so I don't have the camera pulled up. Okay, cool. You can see this mostly anyway. This is what's going on. I just did my little design here on the front of the shoe that matches the look on this one over here. And even though the proportions are slightly adjusted to be resized to the size of this shoe toe, I think it's going to be pretty good. Yes, I'm going to try to dye the laces. I just see your question now, Travelsome. I do have some dye that I think is going to be okay for this because I already had some on hand. So I'm going to give it a shot. The reason why I'm hesitant is because I don't have any sample pieces. Like, I have these laces that I just pulled out of these shoes. And yeah, I can go and buy more laces if I need to. It's really not that big of a deal. But what I'm saying now is that I don't have the opportunity to, like, dip some of the extra fabric in and test the dye color and then pull it out and see how it's doing. I kind of just have to wing it and hope for the best because there's just this limited amount. So whatever happens with these shoelaces is what I get, or I can start on another pair of shoelaces. So it might come to that. We'll see. I'm gonna try to gauge it maybe with some other fabric because yeah, I could use a different fabric to try to like get a good accurate sample color, but it's really not very accurate if it's a different material and you don't know exactly what it's made out of. So that is my little spiel about how I'm really crossing my fingers on that dye job coming out well. But if it doesn't, then I'll just go with some more shoelaces and it'll be fine. I'm gonna get it. But that's what's happening with the shoelaces, and that's what my plan is. Hey, it's Char, sorry. Char is cosplaying from Glow, which I still haven't seen, but so many of my friends recommend it, so I hope that it's as enjoyable as they say it is. Obviously, you like it. Travelsome says, pull all the shoelaces out of your other shoes. Like, I'm just gonna sacrifice my entire shoe wardrobe. I mean, I could, yeah. I totally could. To this project. so that all of my shoelaces, just until I run out of shoelaces, I will eventually get a good one. Alright, I'm just checking again this reference image and make sure that I'm like viewing it correctly, because it doesn't look like the size of these things is 100% consistent. Like they kind of are at an angle. So I'm just checking my references again to make sure that I'm happy with what I'm blocking out. I'm just using a pen to go over my lines and really pick out what I'm happy with and as far as where they're hitting. Now I'm wondering if I should try to keep this one actually above where there's a seam line here on the shoe. I think that logistically it would be much easier to fit the piece in if I let this curve up some. So with that in mind, I'm actually going to flare this out a tiny bit more too. Oh, I guess I'm not. Alright, well that's fine. Alright, who's here? Oh, Love Baker's Cookie is already heading out. Well, thanks for joining us for the time you could. Hello, Home Skillet Sam. Char's asking, glow-in-the-dark fabric paint, yes or no? I think that's always a yes. I am of the opinion that if you can make it sparkly or glowing or reflective or metallic, then you should. Or at least that's what I always do. So there's my vote, Char. This needs to be just a tiny bit wider. MP Laffy says, "You're so meticulous, I wish I was this patient." I appreciate that. I sometimes wish that I had more of an ability to just, like, wing it and go for it and, like, be more willing to just be spontaneous and make mistakes. I feel like that's something that is lacking in my style and that I will, like, get caught up in doing all the little details. Now, obviously, I get results that I'm happy with at the very least, so I'm not saying that, you know, it's my fatal flaw necessarily, but I do think that I sometimes miss the obvious easy solutions because I'm trying to make something that's, like, elaborate or professional looking in whatever way. So, you know, it has its drawbacks, but everybody has their own artistic style. Everybody is going to approach cosplay or whatever medium differently. And that's cool. That's fine. It would be boring if we were all the same. Oh, I need to mark these out. And the way I'm going to mark them is center, inside, and outside rather than right or left, because I have pieces for a right and left shoe and it'll get really confusing if I'm trying to do right and left notations. So there's the center. Here's I for the inside of the shoe itself and then the outside, and so it'll be easy to mirror and not get these two pieces mixed up. And now I'm going to very carefully lift all of this up and hope that I'm not peeling pieces away from each other. But I think it'll be fine. This isn't too bad. Oh, that one is a little bit coming up. Cool. No, it kind of like inverted. Now it's curled up, but that's fine. It does have this curve to it because it's all one continuous piece, but I'm going to cut it apart and that should relax and it should be really easy to lay flat. So I'm also going to make sure that I have some scrap paper on hand. Yeah, this is good. This is just a random scrap of paper so that I can stick the tape down to something so that it's not just sticky. Because again, normally I would approach this with a saran wrap or something on the shoe to put the tape over. But in this case, with it being so small, it just seemed like unnecessary. Miss Katie Girl says, my cat Nacho got scared by the storm, so now he's all cuddled up in my blanket in front of me, also watching the stream. I really enjoy when you guys send me photos of your cats watching my stream. It makes me very happy because obviously my cat is also a part of our streams sometimes, and I just love cats in general. They're very special. So, that's pretty cute. Nacho the cat. Annie Skywalker says, how's my night going? My night is going excellently. Oh, he looks like nacho chips. His ears look like nacho chip corn chips. I guess they're orange. He must be an orange cat. That's pretty cute. Nacho the cat. I like cats that have food names. I also really like cats that have like people names that are just like random names that, you know, a human would have. I think that if I get another cat anytime in the near future, it will definitely have like a human name. I'm trying to smooth this out and make sure that it's laying flat. Doesn't seem too bad. Cool. Jackie donated $5. Thank you so much. Saying, let's see what the note says. You're my favorite cosplayer. Oh, thank you. And I just know that this cosplay is going to be amazing. I also hope you can come to Fan Expo when you're in Toronto. Toronto, as they say in Toronto. Thank you so much, Jackie. That's very, very kind of you. And I hope that I can come to Fan Expo too. I've never been out that way before. Well, yeah, not in the Toronto area. I was at Con Bravo a couple years ago. But I would love to come back. So thank you for your support. People are all naming cats in the chat, saying Steven, Gregory, Veronica. Those are all good names for cats. Killer Cactus says that they love cats with human title before their name, like Duchess Whiskers or Sir Boots. I agree with that a lot. One of my friends has a cat that's named Mr. President, which I thought was really cute. I also know, I know someone who named their cat Beyonce, which I think is really cute. Good cat name. Alright, so here we go. I've got these finally stuck down to some paper. I'm gonna start cutting these out. Again. Ah, TravelSem says, just a reminder, any global emotes will show up as loading wheels today in the chat. I did not know that. Oh, that's probably for the net neutrality thing. That makes a lot of sense. So that's why we're experiencing that. That makes sense. I was curious about that, and I was wondering if that was an internet problem on my end. So thank you for sharing that information and reminding us. I'm going to look that up and read that article. I saw that it was posted, but I didn't see it until I was, like, getting ready to stream. So I haven't had a chance to, like, look at it. Okay. Mrs. Dino Monster says, my sister has a huge orange cat her husband named Hank the Tank. That's adorable. It's a good name for a cat. I feel like that would be a suitable name for Aries as well if he hadn't end up being named Aries. People ask me about the name sometimes, but his name is Aries because I'm an Aries, it's my zodiac sign. It's not like... It's not like a fancy story. It's not a long story, but there you go. There's the origin of Aries. Tauntaun Nicole, thanks for following. There we go. Yes. Speaking of which, Homeskillet Sam is saying, go support net neutrality. Yes, PSA to everyone here in the chat. It is very important. So please do your part. So my cat isn't the god of war. I mean, no, he's not. He's the least aggressive creature I've ever known. He's very sweet. He's very needy. Meatball the cat, that's really cute too. It's Jess, I guess, says, hi Heidi, I met Jared this past weekend at Indie PopCon, I guess. And I was telling you how pumped I am for this cosplay, so excited that you get to do this. Me too, dude! Thank you so much for your support, I really appreciate that. Thanks for saying hi to Jared at Indie PopCon. He had a really good weekend, and I was really happy for him to go and get to do a con out in the Midwest. Yeah, so thank you so much. Alright, setting all of that trash aside, we've got now a little pattern here. And I have some white foam, which this is really thin foam. This is like, I think, 3mm or 2mm. It seems too thick for 2mm. It's not. That doesn't have millimeters on it. Oh, none of these do, so I guess I just don't get to find out. That's fine. It's an appropriate thickness for our project, which is the important part. So I'm just going to be tracing these, and I need one set of each. I think I'm just going to make each set separately so I don't get them mixed up and I don't have to worry too much about labeling. Or what if I labeled them anyway? One thing at a time. Jesse, I guess, says it was PopCon. Nice. Went to all the Normal Boots panels. Crazy fun. Got to meet Jared, Gerard, and Austin and get a hug on their birthday. That's awesome. What a good timing for a con to go and be able to meet people on your birthday. My birthday is on April 1st, and at least back when I was in Texas, there was usually a convention, or there was sometimes a convention going on there that weekend, and I think it is still this weekend. Or still this coming year will be on my birthday weekend. But I don't think I'll be there. We'll see. Oh, Game Gardener is heading out. Well, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you later. Oh, let me grab my X-Acto knife. Yes, my birthday is literally April Fool's. I feel like I always have to give a disclaimer in advance that it is for real my birthday and not a lie or a trap, like ahead of time. Because people always ask me, I don't really get pranked or anything, but a lot of people just make like the same one joke over and over again, like, oh, happy birthday, April Fool's, just kidding. And I'm just like, okay. Do you think that in all of my years of life, no one has come up with that one? So a couple things have to happen here with these little pieces that I'm cutting out. The first thing that has to happen is that they need to be heat shaped to sit comfortably over the curve of the toe of this shoe. And let me make sure, okay, this is the outside piece, which is this one. So I'm gonna heat them up and then let it form over this curve a little bit. It's gonna be really pretty minor stuff. This does not take any large amount of heat or time. I'm gonna trim this just barely. Cool. I have the tendency to like just use my fingernails to handle things because I have naturally long fingernails that are pretty strong, and so like just over the course of my life have learned to use them for things like that. And right now I'm like accidentally making impressions in the foam, but it's gonna be fine. They're coming out. Char says random, but I wanted to let you all know that I love this chat, the little community we have, and how we all support each other. Love you all. That is really great, and I completely agree. I love this chat so much too. And I think I've said this before, but I was so nervous about streaming when I first started, because this was really outside of my comfort zone when I was first getting started. But finding out how lovely all of you were has really like made me want to keep streaming, and I pretty much do it for that reason at this point. I mean, obviously I'm always making things, but yeah, I don't think I would be half as invested in the stream if I didn't have such a wonderful group of people here. So thank you all for joining me and for being lovely with each other and to me. Katie Girl is asking how I'm going to color the laces. They're going to be dyed. They're going to be dyed. It's going to take some trial and error, but they're going to be dyed. Alright, yeah. I'm glad I went ahead and trimmed that down a little bit, the way that it's fitting on there. There's those two. And I am going to label these inside and outside, because they'll get mixed up at some point. And now this is pretty much designating the backs of them too by putting that permanent mark on them. So those are the positions of those pieces. I'll go ahead and flip this just so that I'm using my materials in a conservative manner, I guess. MP Laffy says, do you think it's okay to do cosplay if you are on the chubby side? I know I should lose weight, but it takes time to achieve. I think that it's okay and good and awesome to do cosplay exactly how you are, however you are. And I think that should go for everyone. And you know, like, body positivity is great. Wanting to improve yourself is great. I certainly wouldn't discourage that in anyone. You know, making sure you're doing it in a healthy way is important. But ultimately, this is a hobby that everyone should be able to enjoy exactly where they're at. You don't need to change yourself in order to participate in cosplay at all. So that's that. That's my opinion on the matter. So I chose white foam for this, just so that it would be easy to cover. It is still going to be sealed before it gets painted. I have some white Plasti-Dip that I'm going to be using to seal the foam pieces before they get attached to the shoe. Then they'll get glued down, and then everything will get painted all as one piece. That way I'm not trying to apply any sort of additional material to a painted surface, because you never want to do that. Then you're only really adhering your pieces to the paint. So everything gets assembled first and then painted, and that includes getting these parts to be sealed and ready to go. I'm flipping this over. No, I need to make sure they're not mixed up, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out first. thank you all for having such encouraging things to say to MP Laffy. It makes me happy to see. And I completely agree with everything that people are saying here in the chat. MP Laffy, you should do what you want to with your cosplay and your time and have fun with it. And I hope that you cosplay and enjoy it. And thank you, Jelfish. Hello, Jelfish. Everyone give a shout out to Jelfish here in the chat. She's a friend of mine. She's also a cosplayer. Okay, so I've already done another one of these. I traced one of them, which was this one. Yeah, so I need to do the other side now that I've got these pieces ready. Alright, there is that side and this last little guy. Oh yes, that's right. Jelfish is also a streamer, so if you enjoy cosplay work streams, go follow Jelfish. Aw, thank you, Jelfish says, mega excited to see the Squid Babe come to life. You're gonna rock it. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be a Squid Babe. I mean, they're kids, but yeah, it's fun. Everyone, are you a kid or are you a squid? The real question is cake or ice cream. Everyone weigh in on this conundrum. I would love to hear your responses. I think we all know that Team Marina is gonna win. Thank you, Travelsome, for throwing that in the chat. Everyone click on those links to go follow Jelfish and check out her cosplay streams as well. Always both. Man, everyone wants ice cream. Oh, okay, somebody's finally here for cake. And pancakes, by the way. Oh, pancakes wins over everything. I'm definitely pro pancake. Unfortunately, they don't have a squid team for that. Did they ever do pancakes versus waffles? Pancakes versus waffles is what Madeline is asking. That's a really good question. I don't know the answer to that, but I feel like that would be a heated debate. Pancakes versus waffles. And honestly, I could see the merits to both. I'm a big breakfast food fan, so I have a lot of opinions on this matter. But like, I enjoy that waffles have a little pouch for you to put the syrup in. Like, it holds it in place, and so it's kind of like ready there for you. But I tend to enjoy the flavor of pancakes more. I don't know what it is about the... Maybe it's a different batter, or maybe it's the same. Maybe this is part of my perception of waffles versus pancakes I need to check in on. Anyway. Those are my thoughts on the duality of breakfast foods. Oh, there's problems with the stream. My internet claims to still be strong, so I'm hoping that's not the case. Jared is also actively streaming. We do have 2 streams going on in this household at the same time. But I would be surprised if that were affecting it, because it hasn't in the past. This is not where I... There we go. How did this one turn out like extra long? Maybe the shoes are not fully symmetrical. I was counting on them being fully symmetrical. I think there may be a slight issue with them not being. Oh, I also cut this longer somehow. Interesting. Not significantly longer, but enough to make a difference. Or maybe it's just that I already trimmed the other piece. Whatever, we're fixing it. Alright, this one over here. Which means this one is flipped and it's supposed to be right here. Oh, I guess they just all need to be trimmed. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and move along to the next stage of this, which is heating them up very lightly. Not very much heat required here. Bye! Bye, ruler! You're gone forever! Breath of the Wild for 5 months of playing? That's a lot of Breath of the Wild, but there's probably still stuff you can do in that game. Jellyfish, yes, I'm going to be using contact cement to attach the little foamies, but I just want to make sure everything is kind of lining up properly before I do that. Or before I mark my positions. Yeah, I think there's a slight asymmetricality in the shoe itself, which is not uncommon, but that's fine. We're just gonna have to deal with that. So these things really don't take very much heat. I just want the curve to be like semi-permanent. This isn't probably like super necessary, especially if I'm using contact cement, but I wanted to just make sure that it's nice and smooth for fitting purposes. Everyone is sharing pancake and waffle recipes in the chat. Oh, this is the best day of our chat ever. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is really something that's close to my heart. Pancake and waffle. Well, just breakfast in general. I'm really into breakfast. I eat breakfast at all hours of the day. Alright, so now I am going to trim off any additional extra material that I don't want. There's quite a bit on this piece. Private Sergeant has followed. Thank you so much. Also, Phantom Outline. I don't know how I missed that one, but thank you so much for following. That was 1 minute ago, apparently. Breakfast is life. I mean, I feel very strongly about breakfast. Alright. The next thing I'm doing is marking the positions of where they will sit on the shoe. And I'm just doing this in pencil. The entire thing will be painted, so I'm not too worried about using like a removable ink or something like that, because it'll all be covered eventually, so no big deal. So the purpose of that is so that when I can go to put contact cement, I'll do contact cement on this side, contact cement on the other side, on the underside of this piece, and know that I'm not just smearing extra contact cement all over the toe of the shoe. It's only going in the places where I know the foam is going to sit on top of it. Evil Toast Timmy has followed, joining our breakfast discussion here. Timmy with a toast coming in. Axel part 2110 just subscribed, says I can't watch because I'm at work. I'm checking this, but I still wanted to do this. Also, why do you stream at the same time as Jared? Sorry, that's not my fault. I told Jared I'm streaming, and I've got so much squid stuff to do that I can't really afford to not be streaming, and he's the one who chose to stream at the same time as me, even though he started first. He knew this is my regular streaming time. So what I'm saying is you should go harass him with this question. I don't have an answer for you. Oh, just Alex. Okay, sorry. Okay, thank you. I will say just Alex. Appreciate that. So yeah, this doesn't even really need heat, honestly, to get it to curve. It just needs to be coaxed. Just needs a little bit of persuasion. And this one needs to say inside. On the inside. I need to make sure this one is set up the right way. Yeah, I think the reason why this other one was a little bit longer was because I was supposed to pull it out a little bit farther, but I didn't do that. And this one I am going to heat just barely on the end. Oh, Jared was talking me up in his stream. He would do that. He's very sweet to me. What was I gonna say about that? Oh, it was our emote conversation. So my emote still has not been approved. I wanted to apologize to you guys. I sent it in over a week ago now, so I was expecting it to be done by now, but it's not, and we'll just get it when we get it. Sinica, thank you for following. But I wanted to check back in on that, and that's why we don't have active emotes here in our chat tonight, is because they just haven't been approved. But I submitted it, so it's like in there. Link Fan donated $20. Thank you, Link Fan. Welcome to our stream tonight. Casual Viking is heading out. Well, thank you. Oh, Link Fan says he was talking me up. He would do that. What a kind and supportive boy. Alright, so this is gonna be my position. Once again, just marking the outline down so that I can apply contact cement to only the correct spots. Supreme Burrito, thank you for following. That's a cute name too. It reminds me like of a Taco Bell order, but also like you're like the deity of burritos. It's good. It's really good. All right. Now I'm too worried about trying to slice this properly. I'm gonna use the X-Acto knife. Miss Katie Girl has talked about wanting to avoid eating something sweet, and now she says it's pancake time. Sorry, Katie, we peer pressured you into making pancakes. It's our fault. I take full responsibility. Kitten says, considering that I've been streaming for like 2 or 3 months, and I've already have a steady schedule, and he's been on, referring to Jared, for over 2 years and hasn't gotten one yet, he is choosing to stream on my days. That is accurate, Kitten. Thank you very much. You're correct. He knows my schedule, and he doesn't have a schedule, and he's still streaming on my days, so it's his fault. Okay, so this is going to be center, but also marked left, because that is the shoe that it's on. It's on the left shoe. So CL. So this one does need to have an L. You know what? I'm going to just go ahead and do that on all of them. OL and IL. And the other one will be right. So that the 2 pieces, because I'm about to go plasti dip these. That's going to happen next. That's looking pretty cool though. I know it's not easy to see in the chat or in the stream because of the color contrast, but it's working, I swear. Welcome, Red Hat. It's Jess, I guess, is going to bed. Going to be responsible and going to bed. Well, thank you for joining us, Jess. It was wonderful to have you. Autobot, welcome. Lightning Fast is here. Autobot, thank you for the follow. You haven't missed much. I'm just cutting out little tiny foamy pieces. This is Scarlet Letters asking what did they miss. So I'm cutting out these little foamy pieces. And then I'll plasti dip them, and then I will contact cement them down. I don't know how much of that will happen on stream tonight, but hopefully some of it. We'll see. I am going to take these outside and plasti dip them once I have the positions marked, So that will be a like brief several minute break. The stream will continue, but I'll do like a take 5. And then I'll continue streaming tonight, but then we'll see what part I can do next, which there should be quite a bit that I can do next. But between that and contact cement, it might take a little bit of time, I guess. I just want to make sure that these are looking pretty symmetrical. These little pieces are falling off, and that's fine. But I'm looking at the main fronts of the toes because those two will potentially be visible next to each other. And, you know, people aren't going to be looking at this from, you know, several inches away. But I still want it to be as accurate and nicely done as I can because I care and I want this project to be good. This is fine. Alright, there's my positions, at which point these can all be taken outside for plasti dip. And I want to do that a certain way. What do I need here? Oh, let me grab some double-sided tape. Sorry, I've been not paying attention to the chat. Apologize. Good night, straightened glasses. Oh, thank you, Jellyfish, who said that she loves my attention to detail and that it's super amazing, especially my fabric choices. Thank you. I put a lot of effort into the fabric choices, so it really makes my day anytime someone like cares to notice those little details. So thank you for appreciating my meticulousness. Sometimes I just like spend so long on little things and I'm like, does anybody actually, like, can they tell, is this making a difference that I did it this way? And I'm sure it's gonna be hit or miss always, but I appreciate the people who do care. Travelsome just added a link to somebody's pancake. Is this Travelsome's pancake? I missed who they said it was. Oh, that's like a cake. That's not like, I think a pancake by definition is flat. Am I wrong? I don't know. Please weigh in on this debate. Oh yes, I am wearing Attack on Titan sweatshirt. I got this today. It's like a really cozy little short sleeve thing, which I'm so happy with, and it fits me awesomely. Oh, it's a rice cooker pancake. Okay, thank you, Travelsome, for the information. Alright, so these guys, I'm making sure that they're all getting put on the correct way. But I'm just going to attach them to these little popsicle sticks. Could probably use a paint stick or something longer. You know what, that would probably be more practical than this. Let me do that. Well, I already cut these strips to be tiny, and that's fine. I just changed my mind. Instead of using the little itty-bitty popsicle sticks, I'm just going to put this all on a paint stick so that I have less effort involved. Alright, so what this is a double-sided masking tape that I just stuck down onto the wood here of the stick, And now I'm spacing these out a little bit so that I can still get these edges and make sure that as I'm going from different angles. But basically this is going to allow me to paint, or plasti dip rather. This is not paint, it's plasti dip. But it's going to be a rubberized coating. This is going to allow me to paint a number of them all at the same time. There's one last one that I need to transfer. I think I can get them all on one stick. Oh, that's trash. Alright, so now I have a stick of little pieces. I'm gonna take a few minute break and go outside and put plasti dip on this. I'm also going to, no I'm not, I'm gonna wait on that. I'm gonna do all the context cement at one time so there's a logical progression of everything. I need to do one thing at a time. Killer Cactus is asking, do you actually dip them or do you have the plasti dip in a spray can? Plasti dip comes both ways. I am using a spray can. This will be convenient though for turning it and getting it all different angles and for doing it all at once instead of having like little bitty pieces that I'm trying to like individually paint. So this just kind of mounts them to make them easier to coat all over the place. So yeah, it'll be the spray can version of the plasti dip, but plasti dip does also come in a dippable form, hence the name. It'll be left alone on the back. I'm not worried about that. And it might get a little bit on the back, like just from turning it and getting from different angles. That's not going to be too much of an issue though. I think it'll be fine. Oh, thank you, Scarlet Letter, saying my hair goes well with the green. Oh yeah, Leo's shoes are looking awesome. Magical Kit Kats is mentioning Leo is the guy who is doing the male squid, who's gonna be my Inkling boy partner, and he is on Instagram as Mr. Leo Zombie, I'm pretty sure. That is Leo Camacho. He's a cosplayer that a lot of people follow, so you should go check him out as well. Miss Katie Girl is heading out. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. And I'm going to take a quick few-minute intermission so I can go outside and spray this and just let it be chilling out there. So I'm going to switch over to a BRB screen, but the stream will continue and the music will continue, and I will be back within a few minutes. So just hang tight, and we'll continue this as we left off. and my nose looks funny because I was wearing a respirator, and so now I have an indentation in my face, but just don't worry about that. So my stuff is outside, and I need to set a little timer for myself. Maybe you guys can just help me to remember that in about 30 minutes, I need to go back outside and do one more coat. At least that much. We'll check it out and see like what it needs in terms of potentially doing more coats. But at the very least, it's going to need one more. And then after that, we'll just have to take a look at it. Yeah, so that's what's up with that. That'll take a little bit of time. The next thing I'm going to do is to use a seam ripper to take off some of the extra parts of these shoes that I am not incorporating into the design. So for me, that is these little tabs up at the top. There's like a different design. If you look at the top of the tongue on this shoe over here in our reference image, there is like a square part that goes up here, but this is way too narrow for the logo that I have to apply to it. So with that in mind, I'm just going to rip this off and just cut along the edge. Just so that it's not creating a raised area underneath where that logo patch is going to be. And if I need to do that, if this ends up leaving a really unseemly mark or something, I will just add something new here. I'll cover it up. So I'm not worried about how it will look. Aside from, I hope that this works as I'm expecting to, and that the piece isn't glued down, which could potentially cause problems. But we're just going to investigate and see how it goes. Okay, cool. This is coming off really easily. It does not appear to be glued down, so yay. Oh man. Oh, in 30 minutes I need to go back outside. I'm sorry that you guys are having trouble watching. I don't know if there's anything I can do about it. Is Jared also having problems? I think part of the issue is our proximity to the internet in our home. I want to stop and restart the stream is what the suggestion is.